Welcome back to State Quarter. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of U.S. state quarters. Right now, you're about to see 5 ordinary-looking coins that turned out to be worth absolutely unbelievable money. Some of these quarters were pulled straight from everyday pocket change. Others sat unnoticed for years inside old jars and drawers. And a few carry mint errors so incredibly rare that collectors paid more than the price of a luxury car, a full year's salary, and even more than some homes to own them. As we count down from coin number 5 all the way to the most valuable state quarter ever discovered, the surprises get bigger, the stories get crazier, and the values explode into the 6-figure range and beyond. If you love uncovering hidden treasures in everyday places, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a potential life-changing discovery. Keep your eyes sharp and your fingers ready. Let's get started. First up on our list is a coin you've definitely seen before. And you might even have one sitting in a jar at home right now. The 2001 New York State Quarter. This beauty features the Statue of Liberty boldly standing in front of an outline of the state with the words Gateway to Freedom and 11 stars representing New York's place as the 11th state to join the Union. Released in January 2001, this coin hit circulation just months before the tragic events of 9/11, turning it into an unintentional symbol of resilience and patriotism for millions of Americans. People hoarded these quarters like crazy back then, and even today, it holds a special place in collections. But don't scroll away thinking this is just another pretty quarter worth 25 cents. Look closer at the one on your screen right now. This isn't some shiny, fresh from the mint example. No, this one's been through the ringer, circulated hard, tarnished to a dull gray with spots of reddish copper peeking through, scratched up, and looking like it spent years buried in a pocket or lost in a couch. Most people would see this and think, junk, environmental damage from years of abuse. They'd toss it back in the jar, or spend it without a second thought. And yeah, 99.9% of the time, they'd be right. But here's where it gets exciting, folks. The 2001 New York Quarter has some sneaky mint errors that can disguise themselves as plain old wear and tear. We're talking about coins that look beat up and discolored because of rare production flaws, not just circulation damage. One of the biggest sleepers is the missing clad layer error. Normal quarters have a thin outer layer of nickel over a copper core for that silvery shine. But sometimes during the planchet preparation, one of those nickel layers doesn't bond properly or is missing entirely before striking. The result? One side, usually the reverse with Lady Liberty, turns solid copper reddish while the other stays normal. Over time, that copper tarnishes to dark brown or gray, making it look dirty and ruined. If your 2001 New York Quarter has that weird two-tone look, one side silverish, the other coppery or deeply tarnished, and it weighs less than the standard 5.67 grams, try around 4.7 to 5.0 grams, you might not have trash. You could be holding a genuine missing clad layer error. These are rare, especially on this design, and collectors love the dramatic contrast. A certified example in good condition can fetch $300 to $800 easily, with top-graded ones pushing $1,000 or more at auction. But that's not all. Flip it over and grab your magnifying glass for the real heart-stopper, the off-center strike or double-struck errors. In the rush of producing over 1.2 billion of these quarters, the presses sometimes misfed the blanks. If the planchet wasn't centered perfectly, boom. An off-center strike where part of the design is shifted or cut off entirely, leaving a blank crescent on one side. Or even wilder, a double strike where the coin got hit twice, creating overlapping images of Washington's head on the front and doubled statues of Liberty on the back. It looks messy and damaged, but that's pure mint magic. Look closely at the Statue of Liberty's torch or the state outline. If things seem blurry, shifted, or duplicated, especially on a worn coin, that's your clue. Minor off-centers go for $5,000 to $12,000, but dramatic ones 30 to 50% off or strong double strikes in circulated condition. We're talking $14,000 to $25,000. And if it's a combo, like off-center with some doubling, values explode. One famous 2001 P double-struck off-center, example graded MS-64 sold for big money, and pristine errors have hit thousands. Now, let's get to the numbers that will make your pulse race. A regular circulated 2001 New York Quarter, 25 cents all day. Even nice uncirculated ones top out at a few bucks. But these errors? They're the unicorns. Missing clad layers have hammered at $180,000 plus, off-centers and double strikes routinely sell for $285,000 to $322,000 in auctions, and the absolute gems, the high-grade dramatic errors, experts have seen push $50,000 or higher in heated collector bidding wars. Imagine that grimy, ugly quarter you almost threw away could pay for a vacation, fix your car, or pad your savings big time. This is why you never judge a state quarter by its tarnish. The 2001 New York release came with massive production pressure, leading to these hidden flaws that turned junk into jackpots. Tied to such powerful history, these error coins are even more sought after today. So right now, pause this, go grab your change jar, your wallet, that cup holder in your car. Dump out every 2001 quarter you can find. Look for New York. Check the color. Is one side coppery or oddly tarnished? Weigh it on a precise scale. Magnify the design for shifts, doubles, or off-centers. And whatever you do, do not clean it. Polishing could ruin the natural toning and slash the value overnight. If you've got that missing Clad, off-center, or double-struck treasure staring back at you, your ordinary change just became extraordinary. We're talking thousands of dollars potential from a coin that looks like it lost a fight with a garbage disposal. If this has you fired up, and it should, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because next up, we're diving into another state quarter with errors that make collectors lose sleep. And the values? Absolutely insane. Next up. Alright, coin hunters, we're stepping into history with one of the most groundbreaking quarters ever minted, the 2022 Maya Angelou U.S. quarter, the very first release in the American Women Quarters program. This coin honors the legendary poet, author, memoirist, and civil rights icon Dr. Maya Angelou, featuring her powerful image on the reverse, arms outstretched, a bird in flight behind her symbolizing freedom, and a rising sun, representing her unforgettable words from I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. It's the first time a black woman has ever appeared on a U.S. quarter, making it an instant symbol of empowerment and progress. But before you think this is just another modern quarter worth 25 cents, stop right there. Look at the one on your screen. This isn't a pristine, shiny example fresh from a mint roll. No, this one's been circulated, dull and toned with dark patches, light scratches from pocket wear, maybe even a bit discolored from years in wallets or jars. It looks worn, tarnished, and honestly, like something you'd spend without a second glance. Most people would call it environmental damage, or just normal circulation wear, and 99% of the time, they'd be correct. Here's the thrill, though. The 2022 Maya Angelou quarter launched a whole new era of coin production, with massive mintages and high-speed presses churning out hundreds of millions. That rush led to some fascinating mint errors that can hide in plain sight on these ugly, circulated coins. We're talking flaws that look like damage, but are actually rare die imperfections born right at the mint. The star of the show? The infamous Drooling George, or Drooling Washington, error on the obverse. Grab your magnifying glass and look closely at George Washington's mouth and chin. On normal coins, it's clean. But on these error varieties, a die chip or break creates a small raised line dripping down from his lip, like he's drooling. It's hilarious at first glance, but collectors aren't laughing, they're bidding furiously. This happens when a tiny piece breaks off the die during striking, filling with metal and transferring that drool mark. It's visible even on worn coins, and it's one of the most talked about modern errors. Then flip to the reverse for another crowd pleaser, the nesting bird or twig and beak error. Zoom in on the bird flying behind Maya Angelou's shoulder. On rare dies, a gouge or crack adds an extra line across the bird's beak, making it look like it's carrying a twig back to build a nest. It transforms the symbolic free-flying bird into a nurturing one, and collectors adore the storytelling twist. This is mostly found on Philadelphia, P-mint mark, coins, and even in circulated condition, that subtle twig can turn trash into treasure. Other sneaky errors to hunt for. Die chips creating a wart on the nose or cold sore on Washington's face, double details on her earrings or inscriptions, or even minor off-centers that shift the design slightly. These look like scratches or blobs from wear, but under magnification on a tarnished coin? Pure mint mistake gold. Now let's talk cold hard cash, the part that gets everyone's heart racing. A standard circulated 2022 Maya Angelou quarter? Just 25 cents, maybe a buck or two for a nice uncirculated one. But these errors, they're the game changers. Circulated Drooling George, examples routinely sell for $50 to $300 on auction sites. High-grade uncirculated ones? They've hammered for $1,000 to $1,900, with some reports of top specimens pushing even higher in collector frenzies. The nesting bird variety? Circulated ones go for $1,000 to $4,000, but gem uncirculated or certified examples have fetched $150,000 to $120,000 or more. Combine a strong Drooling George with a twig on the same coin, rare, but possible across varieties, and you're in unicorn territory. Values can climb into the thousands for the best ones. Let that sink in. That dull, dirty quarter you almost spent on coffee could fund a weekend getaway, pay a bill, or kickstart your collection. The 2022 production was huge, but these die errors are limited to specific dies, making them scarce enough to drive demand sky-high, especially with the coin's historic significance. This is exactly why you never overlook a beat-up modern quarter. The Mint's push for this new program created chaos on the dies, and those flaws are your opportunity. So do this right now. Grab your wallet, that change jar, the cup holder in your car. Pull out every 2022 quarter. Look for Maya Angelou on the back. Check the Mint mark, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver. Magnify Washington's mouth for that drool line. Inspect the bird for the twig. And crucially, ***, do not clean it ***. Scrubbing could remove natural toning or damage the surfaces, tanking the value instantly. If you spot that Drooling George drip or nesting bird twig staring back at you on a worn coin, congratulations, your everyday change just got a serious upgrade. We're talking hundreds, maybe thousands in potential. Your next big find is out there. Next up, we're heading to the Green Mountain State with one of the most charming and understated designs in the entire 50-state quarters program, the 2001 Vermont State Quarter. This gem celebrates Vermont's iconic maple syrup industry, showing camels Hump Mountain in the background, majestic maple trees with sap buckets hanging from them, and the state's motto, freedom and unity. Released in August 2001, it captures that pure rustic New England vibe, nothing flashy, just beautiful nature and tradition. Over 880 million were minted, so they're still common in change today. But hold on, don't dismiss this one as just another quarter. Look at the coin on your screen right now. This isn't a bright, shiny roll-fresh beauty. This one's circulated, toned to a dull gray with dark spots, light scratches, maybe even a reddish copper hue bleeding through on one side from years in pockets, jars, or lost under car seats. It looks worn out, tarnished, and like something you'd spend on a snack without thinking twice. Most folks would chalk it up to environmental damage from circulation, and usually they'd be spot on. Here's the adrenaline rush. The 2001 Vermont Quarter has some elusive mint errors that can masquerade as plain old wear, turning these ugly ducklings into serious treasures. With massive production runs at both Philadelphia and Denver mints, the high-speed presses occasionally slipped up in ways that create dramatic flaws. The big one to hunt for? The missing clad layer error. Standard quarters are clad, thin nickel layers over copper core for that silver look. But sometimes during planchet prep, one clad layer fails to bond or is missing altogether. Result, one side, often the reverse with the mountains and trees, turns solid copper, reddish at first, then tarnishing to deep brown or gray over time. The obverse might look normal, creating a striking two-tone effect that screams error to experts. If your Vermont quarter has that weird coppery side, weighs less than the usual 5.67 grams, closer to 5.0 to 5.2 grams, and the color isn't just surface dirt, you could have a winner. These are documented on both P and D mints, and even circulated examples stand out. Then, grab your loop for the next thrill, off-center strikes and broad strikes. If the blank wasn't seated right in the press, the design shifts, part of camel's hump or the trees gets cut off, leaving a blank crescent. Or a broad strike, where it's struck without the collar die, making the coin wider, flatter, and with weak or missing edge reading. These look damaged at first glance, but on a tarnished coin, they're pure mint mistakes. Dramatic off-centers, 30% plus shift, or strong broad strikes are the ones that get collectors excited. Don't overlook subtler die errors. Die cracks creating raised lines across the mountain or trees, die chips making blobs like extra sap on a bucket, or even minor double dies on the lettering or sap buckets. These can hide under grime, but pop under magnification. Now, the numbers that'll get you checking your pockets. A regular circulated 2001 Vermont quarter? Just 25 cents. Nice uncirculated ones? $1 or $2. But these errors? Game changers. Missing Clad layer examples, even in circulated condition, routinely sell for $200 to $500. High-grade certified ones, MS64, MS65, have hammered at auctions for $18,000 to $20,000 or more, with that eye-popping copper contrast driving bids wild. Off-center strikes, minor ones go for $2,000 to $5,000, but dramatic 40% plus shifts in good condition? $10,000 to $30,000 easy. Broad strikes and double strikes push $75,000 to $82,000. Combine a missing Clad with another error? You're in rare territory. Values can climb into the thousands for top specimens. Let it hit you, that dull, ruined quarter lurking in your change jar could cover a nice dinner out, fix a phone bill, or seriously boost your collection. The 2001 production chaos birthed these hidden gems, and Vermont's peaceful design makes the errors pop even more. This is why you never skip over a beat-up state quarter. Those mint flaws are your shot at a payday. So, stop everything, raid your wallet, that piggy bank the laundry coin pile. Pull out every 2001 quarter. Look for Vermont. Check both sides for copper tones or odd colors. Weigh it on a digital scale. Magnify for shifts, blobs, cracks, or missing details. And remember, do not clean it. Wiping away toning or tarnish could kill the value in a heartbeat. If you spot a missing Clad side and off-center mountain view, or those sneaky die flaws on your worn Vermont quarter, boom, your everyday change just leveled up big time. Hundreds, maybe over $1,000 potential. Next up, the 1999 Delaware State Quarter, the very first in the program. This iconic piece honors the first state, with Caesar Rodney on horseback racing through the night to cast the tie-breaking vote for independence in 1776. The reverse shows him riding boldly, with Caesar Rodney inscribed and the motto, the first state. Released in 1999, it sparked a nationwide craze. People were hoarding rolls, kids were collecting, and the mint couldn't keep up. But don't just glance and move on. Look at the coin on your screen right now. This isn't some gleaming, mint-fresh beauty. This one's been through hell and back, circulated heavily, toned to a deep gray with black spots, scratches everywhere, looking like it rolled around in dirt for decades. It appears dark, grimy, tarnished, and honestly, like something you'd leave on the ground if you dropped it. Most people would see this and think, just environmental damage, soda spills, pocket wear, years of abuse. And 99.9% of the time, they'd be dead right. Here's where your heart starts pounding. The 1999 Delaware Quarter was the guinea pig for the whole program. The mint was ramping up production like crazy, experimenting with new processes, alloys, and dyes. That chaos birthed some insane mint errors that can look exactly like damage on a beat-up coin. We're talking flaws born at the mint that turn ugly ducklings into absolute monsters in the collector world. The most famous, the legendary spitting horse error. Grab your magnifying glass and zoom in on Caesar Rodney's horse on the reverse. On normal coins, the mouth is clean. But on these rare die-crack varieties, mostly 1999, P from Philadelphia, a break in the die creates a raised line shooting out from the horse's mouth, like it's spitting. It runs down through the C in Caesar. It's hilarious at first, but collectors go wild. This happens when the die cracks under pressure, and metal flows into the gap. Even on a dark, worn coin like this, that raised line stands out under light. Then there's the ultra-rare sleeper, the experimental planchet error. In 1999, the mint was secretly testing golden alloys for the upcoming Sacagawea dollar, manganese brass blends that matched vending machine specs but looked gold. Some blanks got mixed up, and a handful of Delaware quarters, along with other 1999 states, were struck on these experimental planchets. They weigh heavier, around 5.9 to 6.3 grams versus standard 5.67, have a subtle golden bronze tint that tarnishes oddly to gray or brown, and look off compared to normal Clad coins. On a circulated example, that discoloration hides perfectly as dirt or damage. Other sneaky flaws, off-center strikes, design shifted, blank areas, missing Clad layers, one side copper red, tarnishing dark, or die chips creating blobs near the horse or rim. These look like scratches or gouges from wear, but they're mint-born. Now, the numbers that make you drop everything. A regular circulated 1999 Delaware quarter, 25 cents. Uncirculated, $1 or $2. But the spitting horse? Circulated ones with a clear line sell for $5 to $20 easily. Nice uncirculated or graded examples. $500 to $2,000 or more when the spit is bold. The experimental planchet? Holy Grail territory. Only a tiny number known, fewer for Delaware, often certified as mint errors or patterns. These golden-tinted rarities have sold at major auctions for $150,000 to $210,000 plus in high grades, pristine ones pushing even higher in collector battles. Combine a spitting horse with experimental metal or another error. You're in dream territory, values that can climb into five figures for the best specimens. Let that sink in. That filthy, ruined quarter in your jar could be a $300,000 plus windfall disguised as junk. The 1999 rush created these hidden beasts, and they're still out there in change. So pause right now, dump out your change jar, wallet, car console. Hunt every 1999 quarter. Look for Delaware. Check the mint mark P or D. Magnify the horse's mouth for that spit line. Weigh it precisely. Check for odd color or heaviness. And never clean it. Polishing destroys toning and value instantly. If that line is dripping from a horse, or it feels heavier with a weird tint, your beat-up quarter just became a beast. Hundreds, thousands, maybe tens of thousands in potential. Share your finds. We're building an army of treasure hunters. Your next life changer is hiding in plain sight. Go get. Next up, we're crossing the Delaware with one of the most patriotic designs in the 50 State Quarters program, the 1999 New Jersey State Quarter. This absolute classic honors the Garden State as the crossroads of the Revolution, featuring George Washington boldly crossing the icy Delaware River with his troops on the reverse, boats slicing through the waves, soldiers rowing hard, and the inscription, Crossroads of the Revolution. Released as the third coin in the series in 1999, it captures that epic moment of surprise attack that turned the tide of the American Revolution. Over 662 million were minted between Philadelphia and Denver, so they're still floating around in change jars everywhere. But wait, don't just flip past this one thinking it's ordinary. Look at the coin on your screen right now. This isn't a sparkling, uncirculated gem. This one's been battle-hardened, heavily circulated, toned to a deep, murky gray with brownish patches, scratches from years in pockets, maybe even an odd golden bronze tint peeking through the grime on the edges or one side. It looks rough, tarnished, like it survived a shipwreck or decades buried in soil. Most people spot this and think, just beat up from circulation, environmental damage, nothing special. And yeah, in almost every case, that's exactly what it is. Here's the rush that keeps collectors up at night. The 1999 New Jersey Quarter was part of that wild first-year chaos when the mint was experimenting big time. New dyes, massive production, and secret tests for the upcoming golden Sacagawea dollar led to some mind-blowing errors that disguised themselves perfectly as damage on a worn coin like this. The absolute monster? The ultra-rare experimental planchet error. In 1999, golden manganese brass blanks meant for the Sacagawea dollar got mixed in early, and a tiny handful of New Jersey quarters, mostly P-mint, were struck on them. These weigh heavier, around 5.9 to 6.3 grams versus standard 5.67, have a distinctive golden bronze color that tarnishes to dull gray or brown over time, and look off under the dirt. On a circulated example, that weird tint hides as grime or toning. Only a dozen or so known across the early 1999 states, and New Jersey is one of them. Certified examples have hammered for $3,000 to $10,000 plus, with top grades pushing even higher in auctions. But that's not all. Zoom in with your magnifying glass for the next thrill. Off-center strikes and double strikes, asterisk asterisk. High-speed presses sometimes misfed the blanks, shifting the design way off, leaving blank crescents, or hitting twice for overlapping images. Washington's head doubled, boats blurry and ghosted. On a tarnished coin, these look like scratches or wear, but they're mint-born chaos. Dramatic off-centers, 30% plus, or strong double strikes in circulated condition. $10,000 to $50,000 easy, with wild multiples hitting $100,000 to $150,500. Don't miss subtler hunters. Double dyes, extra thickness on lettering, Washington's profile, or boat details, die cracks shooting across the waves, or even missing clad layer errors where one nickel side peels away, exposing copper that tarnishes dark red-brown. Weigh it if it's lighter, around 5.0 grams, with a two-tone look. That's a clad flaw worth $200,000 to $280,000. Now, the numbers that'll have you dumping out your jars. A beat-up circulated 1999 New Jersey quarter? 25 cents. But these errors? Explosive. Experimental planchets are the unicorns, thousands per specimen. Off-centers and double strikes routinely fetch $50,000 to $55,000 in auctions, dramatic ones soaring past $100,000. Double dies or combos. Hundreds easy. One legendary double-struck off-center sold for over $200,000, and that's not even counting the golden beasts. Let it sink in, that dark, trashed quarter you almost spent could fund a vacation, erase debt, or change your collection forever. The 1999 frenzy created these hidden warriors, and they're still out there. So right now, grab your wallet, change jar car console. Pull every 1999 quarter. Hunt for New Jersey. Check P or D mint mark. Weigh it precisely. Look for golden undertones or odd heaviness. Magnify for shifts, doubles, cracks, or copper bleed. And never clean it. Scrubbing destroys toning and value overnight. If you spot that golden glow, off-center drama, or double details on your worn New Jersey quarter, your pocket change just hit the jackpot. Thousands in potential staring back at you. If this has you rating your coins, and it should, smash that subscribe and notifications. We're uncovering more state quarters with errors that get crazier. And the values? Absolutely shocking. Comment below, got any 1999 New Jersey quarters? Found gold tones or wild strikes? Share the hunt. We're all chasing these treasures together. Your fortune's waiting. Keep looking.